It's time once again for another thrilling episode of Markout Radio. For the next hour, sit back, pull the stick out of your ass, and enjoy. Be warned though, smarks and internet know-it-alls will be offended, annoyed, and generally pissed off at what's about to happen to your ear holes. You've been warned. Now, Markout Radio.
That's right. Welcome back to Markout Radio. It's your boy Dark Fox here again with you. Episode 62 for November 18, 1996 out of Florence Civic Center, Florence, South Carolina. Hosted this week by Tony Schiavone, Larry Zbyszko, Eric Bischoff, Mike Tenay, and Bobby the Brain Heenan. This is the 23rd week in a row for Nitro to win the ratings war that is a war with a 3.2 to Raw's 2.4. Now, both shows are down in the ratings this week, not having programmed against a national fucking holiday. Survivor Series was last night for the WWF, and Raw should have just about gained a point, but they didn't. As a matter of fact, they lost one. They had 18,647 in attendance and still couldn't manage to bump their ratings by a fucking decimal point. Listen, Nitro's not doing much better. Here we go. It's another sellout for Nitro, though, with 4,164 in attendance, a $36,030 gate. Really? Jesus, we're down to the $30 now. Jesus, counting every fucking penny when we're starting to pay Piper, big buddy. The show starts off, well, not really how Nitro starts off. In the ring, it appears there are four tag teams: the Nasty Boys, High Voltage, a new team of Cyclope and Galaxy, and the Outsiders, standing tall with chairs. Presumably, they just nailed everyone in a dark match gone wrong. Nash and Hall get into it with Schiavone and Zbyszko, but mostly Tony. Larry just let Tony get bullied while Hall cut a racially insensitive promo about the Faces of Fear. This was actually a really great way of telling a gorilla shit story that seems to be failing lately as the NWO tries to win a Cable Ace Award. Jesus. Backstage, Faces of Fear attack the Outsiders and they fight to the outside. Back from break, Tony breaks kayfabe, telling us that the footage they were about to show you, oh Jesus, is from a dark match before the show. Jeez, oh dear. No, I don't think it deserves a ta-da, but why not just give it to them anyways at this point, right? All right, listen. Just whatever. The image freezes on the initial attack as Tony tells us that he's not going to show us everything. Presumably this is because there is some more breaking kayfabe spots in here. I don't know. Tony rightly throws Larry under the bus as they break from the footage for being cowardly heel commentator that he is. And he lets us know that anyone can do this shit, does Larry, as Tony storms off and leaves Larry to do it by himself. Now listen, I don't disagree that everyone could fucking do this shit. The difference being that I don't think everyone can do this shit well. All right. I understand that that's a fine tooth to slit on this deal, but Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, any moron can call a wrestling match, but can any moron cut a wrestling match that's actually entertaining? Yeah, no, I'm looking at you, Corey Graves. Parka defeats Juventud Guerrero after this at 9 minutes, 22 seconds. I gave it 2 out of 5. With Tony gone, Larry is alone as the Mexican wrestlers make their way down to the ring after making Larry suffer through trying to call a match full of moves that he doesn't know the names of. Mike Tenay comes down to ringside to help him call the first half of the show. This is Parka's WCW debut, as Tenay would tell us a dozen times or so, but he's rocking a vest number that he would abandon later since it gets in the way an awful lot, and it's really not worth it just to have the fucking skull shoulder pads. The thing I always enjoyed about Mexican wrestlers was their weird need to have muscles on their outfits. I get it, anatomy and shit, but wow, Jesus, putting muscles on your fucking tights because you can't. They don't have the steroid limitations down there that the States have. So why even? It's whatever. Anyways, like a lot of these high flying matches, there's a spot show, and this is one of those matches where Sullivan claimed that he wants a wrestling match to start to show off. But it wouldn't be that really. Listen, I know a lot of people are into this, but when the victim has to get themselves up for another high spot, it completely ruins the suspend disbelief mantra that wrestling in the 90s was trying to go for to try to draw in more fans. There was one spot here where Parka literally was supposed to get crotched on the top rope, missed, landed on the back of his knee, got himself into it getting crotched. Tenay called it as a crotch shot, and then he changed so he could sit on the top rope so that Juvi could do a Huracarana spot. I mean, whatever. At this point, Tenay lets us know that Piper has been spotted in the building and will make an appearance tonight on Nitro. I know what you're thinking. It hasn't been 60 days. They threw money at him. And there's only so many zeros you can put your nose up at when you've got 6 kids. You wondered how that pay ended up so close to $2 million after his contracts didn't add up? Now you know. You're not gonna... Really? But... Thank you. I'm glad we eventually got there. All right, anyways. Back from break, Tenay hosts the Ultimate Dragon highlight reel of the 8 titles that were part of the J-Crown Championship, but for obvious reasons, they're not naming them, since one of them actually is a WWF title. After this, we get a J-Crown Champion match. I don't know if this was even for a title. Obviously, it wasn't for the WCW Cruiserweight title, but I don't know if this was sort of for the J-Crown title, even periphery. We did find out at the end of the match that this was to see who was going to go on as the Cruiserweight champion to face Psychosis at World War III. So I guess maybe it was for the Cruiserweight title. It's unclear because, again, the Dave Penzer didn't tell us, or the fucking announcers are talking him over him as usual. So listen, we're going to cover this a little bit more in the World War III special that I'm going to do for 1996. It's going to air soon on the network, but basically this not the WWE network, just ours. Just calm down, producer. Just get so confused so easily. Basically, this is J-Crown Championship was a gimmick that New Japan came up with to profile all of the companies that they were partnered with. Reportedly, almost every single one of those companies were pissed off about it, though. So much so that Vince tried to issue a cease and desist, but ultimately didn't get the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship title back until November of 1997. Anyways, back on this match, Rey Mysterio gets a picture-in-picture promo where he cuts it about Malenko, even though this is the go-home for World War III pay-per-view coming up this Sunday, and there he's going to face the Dragon for the J-Crown Championship. Every time it looks like WCW's production gets his shit together, we get this crap. I mean, you could have saved that promo for next week, and it would have been fine, but you plop it in here and then have Tenay explain the promo. That always works out really well. Tenay shoots a bit on the Outsiders' failed attempt to get a Cable Ace award. Weren't even nominated, actually. For a prize, you have to pay money to get nominated for in the first place. Now, I'm not sure if there's a language barrier going on in this match or not, but back in the match, Dragon spent a lot of time standing and waiting for Dean to put a move on him. There were 3 instances where he was just standing or sitting there waiting for Dean to do something, which he would then get stiffed on, which let's admit it was warranted. This match ends here with Dean rolling up Dragon. Sonny Ono jumps up on the ropes trying to, distract Dean anyways. Dean takes the bait, flips Ono into the ring, then ducks low and flips Dragon over the top rope where his right leg gets caught on the rope, and he takes a spill the hard way to the outside. Randy Anderson calls for a DQ win as Dragon went over the top rope. I love how this over the top rope thing became whenever we decide we're going to do it, we're just going to break it out. Tenay then tells us that Dean will face Psychosis at World War III as the Cruiserweight champion, and Psychosis will challenge. I mean, I don't know if there's a smoother way to make this announcement at this point, so he does get a break for telling us about this, but really he was set up to fail here. There was a piece of production. There was fuck up on the booking of it. There was fuck up on the promos leading up to it. So there's not really any other way to tell us that there is going to be a Cruiserweight title match at World War III unless Tenay just fucking says it. So then there's going to be no promo package for it, so forget that shit. After this, we got a throwback for last week as Sherry and Parker get in the ring together and Tenay and Larry react. They left out the best part, which was Sherry screaming that she was going to fucking kill Parker. Which, let's admit it. That was gold. So after this, we get the amazing French-Canadians Jacques Rougeau and Carl Ouellette with Colonel Robert Parker defeating Marcus Alexander Bagwell and Scotty Riggs. See... whenever you do this, I get shit, and I gotta talk to YouTube, or I gotta email them, tell them to fuck off every single time. And talking over it doesn't appear to help. Anyways, thank you. Thank you for turning it down. Anyways, the amazing French Canadians have the Canadian flag sideways. Miserable fucking French cunts that they are. Parker has changed from his goofy Southern gentleman gimmick outfit to a French Legionnaire. Now, I'm not quite sure why, and Eric would shoot on this later in the show, but I'm not quite sure why he's dressed as a French Legionnaire. Quebecers fucking hate the French. They viewed them as abandoning them to the tender mercies of the Brits back in the day. French people fucking hate French people. Welcome to France, I guess. Anyways. So the Frenchies are going to sing the Canadian national anthem in French, which is subtle heat in the States, because they don't even know what the Canadian national anthem sounds like in English. It would probably get a larger response up here. The American males come out next with Bagwell waving Old Glory around.
American males, American males, American
I swear to God, it's got to be Jimmy Hart. This is his theme song.
They're unpredictable.
Are they though?
American males.
Oh God. Jesus, we've never gotten this far in the song. I'm sure it's banned by now on YouTube. Thank you for demonetizing me, producer boy. Anyways, just so there's no debate about who the faces and heels are, Bagwell is going to come out waving the American flag around. Fuck it though, it's America. It worked. I mean, every time a team needed the heat, they'd start a chant, USA or Canada. I love the way French people say Canada, by the way.
American males, American males, American males.
I really don't though. But anyways, the end was a bit of a clusterfuck, but it absolutely worked. So Riggs stays in after Bagwell gets the hot tag and takes over. Riggs gives a high knee to the back of Rougeau, who crashes head-to-head with Bagwell. Ouellette puts Rougeau on top of Bagwell, and the Canadians get the W. Post-match, oh, look at that. We went right through the whole theme song. Thank you. Post-match, there's some more bickering as the males break up. Seems even closer than ever. Oh, I'm never going to get to play that song again. I hope, because I could really use not being demonetized every 5 seconds. Back from break, the live cam is on some nerd at ringside who not only made his own NWO t-shirt, but he's got WWF action figures of Hogan and Piper that he's bashing together like he's a fucking 3-year-old. Tenay wonders out loud if this is a sign of things to come. Wonders if what's a sign of things? Children playing with wrestling dolls? Sure. Piper jumping on Hogan's head? I guess. Yeah, it's a sign of things to come. We're going to bash wrestling dolls' heads together. Fuck, how did this guy stay employed for this long? Lex Luger after this defeats Hugh Morrus in 4 minutes, 22 seconds. I gave that one 2 out of 5. Tenay mentions here that there's heat between the Horsemen and the Dungeon and that Chris Benoit has been experiencing that heat firsthand. No. No, 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 no.
You are a big mark.
There is heat between Sullivan and Benoit because someone is fucking somebody else's wife. It's a nice attempt to put the genie back in the bottle, but Sullivan's fucking promos that somehow make their way onto live air every goddamn week constantly ruin that. Again, with the fucking picture-in-picture promos, this time it is Anderson who's going to promote the World War III match, and he's gunning for Luger. Tenay tells us at this point Flair will be in the building on Saturday, even though the pay-per-view is Sunday, so I don't know why the fuck he's telling us about this. Luger again wins after his opponent fucks up off the top rope. Last week, Norton missed that shoulder tackle. This week, Morrus misses a big splash. Tenay doesn't see the tap out. Luger doesn't even know there was a real tap out, but the ref gives it to him anyways, and then Tenay flubs back and announces that Luger has won with some excitement. Now, it would have been a better spot if everyone had just played along, but since Luger didn't even realize that he'd won, and when you watch the picture-in-picture, you can see Morrus tapping out by waving his hand around, but you can also see that Morrus is falling off of Luger's shoulders. So, yeah, that didn't work out quite so good either. Post-match is an in-ring promo with Gene and Luger. Apparently, Luger weighs in well over 300 pounds, although he never went over 275 in his whole fucking career. Whatever, Gene. Sting comes down to the ring and shoves Luger with a bat, then hands it to Luger and leaves. This would have been maybe better spot if he turned his back and held his arms out, daring Luger to hit him. But Sting kind of seems to have fucked up the spot a little bit and left early. Anyways, Gene tries to get something out of Luger, but he also leaves the ring, so Gene puts over the pay-per-view as we dump into break. After break, hour 2 starts. Eric throws back to Saturday Night where Shivani interviews lawyer boy Sharp and Nick Patrick. Eventually, Teddy Long comes into the picture with Chris Jericho. Not quite sure why Jericho needs a talking head. It's not like he's ever been short of anything to say in the past or present. Sharp again tells Jericho that his dad was a goon in hockey, and Jericho is also nothing but a goon. Now, you may ask yourself, well, was Ted Irvine a goon? Good question, Self. I mean, he did accumulate an awful lot of penalty minutes over his career. Out of 724 games played, he had 657 penalty minutes. Now, for the sake of argument, let's assume that those were all minimum 2-minute penalties. That's about 1 penalty for every 2 games. Let's compare him to an actual goon, shall we? Ty Domi averaged 2 penalties per game. Fuck, even Mark Messier had more penalty minutes per game than Ted Irvine. So was Jericho's dad a goon? No. Does it serve a faces character to be portrayed as a goon or a son of a goon? No. So why are we doing this? Well, because Eric doesn't understand or even like hockey. He's got no idea what the fuck is going on, and every time Jericho tries to make it about something else, everyone goes off script because I don't think that was supposed to be done that way. I mean, listen, Eric understands television production and karate, although we would discover later on in life when he went to the WWF that he didn't really know much about fucking karate either. Since no one knows what the fuck is going on from a storytelling standpoint, let's let Teddy Long save this shitty promo before we dump back to Nitro. Great idea. Let's go ahead and show this shit promo and then use it to sell Jericho's match.
All right.
At this point, Jericho defeats Johnny Grunge in 5 minutes, 21 seconds of the next match. I gave that one 2 out of 5. Grunge is back from knee injury, but Rocco got hurt a couple weeks ago under his masked persona, so he gets to be in a singles match with Jericho's theme song has been played over by Break the Walls Down, which wasn't his theme song until he hit the WWE. This was his theme song. I think we all know this is Jericho's theme song in the WCW, especially at the beginning. Right? And it was an awesome theme song. But here on the network, we're going to go with Break the Walls Down. I'm not quite sure what the fuck happened. I looked into it, and no one seems to know. No one seems to know why the fuck Jericho's Break the Walls Down theme was dubbed in over his WCW theme, since they've had his WCW theme all this time. I went to all of the experts on Reddit and they couldn't. No, I'm kidding. I actually did ask some people in production why, and no one understands why, because Jericho's theme song was All the Days, which was the theme song we just played. So whatever. Eric now talks about the Sting Luger deal with the bat, while Bischoff claims that Sting was daring Luger to hit him. A little bit of revisionist history, but whatever. Seems more and more that was the intent, but Sting seems to maybe have rushed it along for time, perhaps. I don't know. We had to get the Hogan pose down in, don't we? Oh, thank God that's not happening this week. Okay, cool. So the live cam finds Nick Patrick out in the audience looking menacing and angry, scouting Jericho. Not sure why, because Jericho hasn't agreed to the match yet, even though the fucking lawyer said that he had, because, you know, lawyers. Eric calls Jericho Jeff Jarrett 7 times during this match. I guess all that long hair was throwing him off of his game. Bischoff then tells us there was footage of the NWO trying to break their way into the Cable Ace Awards. Yeah, you know, you're going to be asking yourself, well, does our boy Dark Fox have some of that footage? Why, yes. Yes, he does. He does have that fucking footage.
World Wrestling Champ Hulk Hogan's career could now be aptly titled The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Our E-cameras caught up with the new Hollywood Hulk Hogan and his band of vigilantes who call themselves the NWO, or the New World Order, as they crashed last month's Cable Ace Awards here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, see, this was when they crashed the Cable Ace Awards. And they were interviewed by E, except that hadn't aired yet. So there was footage of them breaking into the Cable Ace Awards, but it wouldn't come out for another month.
All these people here, along with Ted Turner, got a lot of gall, man. We are the heartbeat of the hottest cable show on TV today. They call it WCW Monday Nitro, soon to be NWO for life. So tonight we decided their plan, man. They know the deal. You know, go in the back door, punk a few guys, push them out of the way, and grab Ted Turner by his skinny little neck and take what's ours.
Yeah. So there's that. So really at the end of the day, the NWO / Eric Bischoff / WCW put themselves over by, I don't know, paying E to come and film them in front of the fucking theater where the awards ceremony wasn't even held. Sweet. Absolutely worth a fucking ta-da. Anyways, Jesus. Back to the match. Grunge misses an elbow drop with a chair through a table, allowing Jericho to capitalize and get the W. I'm not quite sure when this was announced as a hardcore match, but it ended up being a hardcore match, I guess because Johnny Grunge was in it. I don't know. Post-match, there was a rant promo. Gene and Jericho. Teddy Long comes down to apologize for the arm behind the back tied gimmick shit at World War III. Jericho says there's no apology necessary since that's the only way a coward like Patrick would ever face him in the ring. And then we cut the break. Back from break, we're at the announce set where Bischoff claims he's been talking to Piper's people. The NWO theme starts up. Heenan runs away while Hogan, Liz, DiBiase, and Vincent invade the announce set. Hogan wants to be told that he's the bigger icon and that Piper is scared of him. Failing to get a Cable Ace Award, Bischoff goes for an Emmy with this acting. Woo! So now the NWO are going to leave the announce position stage left, avoiding the ramp entirely like the rebels that they are, so that DDP can come down and do a promo with Gene on the ramp. He's turning down the NWO. This time it's not just the Outsiders, but Six and the Giant have come down to push buttons. We're back on that whole, he doesn't get it, and you know, and if you're wondering if anyone's ever going to get it or no, the answer is, obviously, no.
Oh my God!
Nash then quotes 2001 A Space Odyssey, because, cool guys are always quoting sci-fi movies.
We coming for you, nigga!
Easy. Jarrett defeats Bobby Eaton in 2 minutes, 17 seconds. I gave that one 1 out of 5. Eaton comes down to the ring in his old 70s ring gear as Heenan and Tenay come out to join Bischoff at the announce position. Essentially, this is a job match to allow Flair to come out and put Jarrett over once again. I'm not sure if that deserved a ta-da, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Post-match, we get a promo of Gene, Flair, and Jarrett. Flair tells the Horsemen live on Nitro that Jarrett's in because Flair says so. The camera goes to Sting up in the rafters a few times. I did notice that Flair's language was that right now Jarrett's in, and as of this moment Jarrett's in, that old Sting angle. Anyways, that golden voice bastard Lee Marshall, which I am absolutely not this week. I'm hacking up a lung. It's got to be the COVID. Jesus, I need a cough button from hell now. Anyways, Lee Marshall's going to do his 1-800 collect call in Norfolk, Virginia. He wants to know which syllable of weasel the Vance should emphasize for Heenan, who tells him to keep walking east until he feels his feet get wet, and then to keep walking. Big Bubba, Jesus. See how much I put that over? I put that over about as much as it needed to go over. All right. Big Bubba defeats Jim Powers in 3 minutes, 55 seconds.
0.0.
Powers with no Teddy Long as his manager anymore. A pretty forgettable fucking match, which is why it scored a
0.0.
The good news is the best match of the night's coming up next. Chris Benoit with Woman defeats Eddie Guerrero in 12 minutes, 8 seconds. I gave that one 4 out of 5. Sullivan is now doing solo promos because even he can't convince Jimmy Hart to come out and do these fucking shoot promos anymore. Sullivan's going to claim that Benoit isn't really even a horseman and isn't Kevin Sullivan either, and that he should tell her that, which I think would be the point of not fucking your husband anymore, because the guy you are fucking isn't your husband.
We coming for you, nigga!
Anyways, Bischoff and Heenan try to make this work as a work in their commentary, but fall short. We pause and going to break because it looks like there might be a pin attempt. I shouldn't have to put that over, but given WCW's Nitro programming and promotion and production, I feel like I kind of have to point that out, that they stopped from going to break just because there may have been a pin. Anyways, I still can't believe this match was over 12 minutes long. It had a ton of energy and excitement. It definitely did not feel like a 12-minute match. It was excellent. Back from break, Eric's in the ring and wants to apologize for agreeing with Hogan earlier, and he'll do everything he can to make sure Piper signs a match against Hogan. Again, Eric flexing those Emmy muscles as Piper's music hits, and he comes down to the ring with his own microphone to shoot on Hogan after putting himself over a little bit, and then he shoots on Eric and his attempt to contact him. Oh, you mean the camera wasn't on me when I did my air quotes? I think the fucking audience got that. Eric seems awfully cozy in the ring as the Giant, Outsiders, Six, and Vincent and DiBiase come down and hold Piper. But then everything else is explained as Hogan comes into the ring and hugs Bischoff, outing Bischoff as NWO. Hogan cuts a promo on Piper, who legit needed cops to hold him back, but it's sold so well. Fans in attendance and at home were sure this was going to be a fucking shoot match. He and Tenay sign off of Nitro for the night. Piper gets a live stick again and agrees to the fight, telling Baldy that he can kiss his ass. Nitro gets a solid 3.5 out of 5 this week. Some of the matches were duds, but that's gonna happen. Overall, the show was great. Ended on a great wrestling match, followed by a great promo that didn't need half the words that were used in it to sell what was starting to fizzle out as it was. But overall, fucking good Nitro, thank God, because lately they've been struggling.
Well, that was an abortion of a show. Should the mood take you, check out markoutradio.com and leave a comment. You can also find links there to our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Stitcher channels. You can even leave a voicemail on our Skype. Just click the links and share them.